Hi guys, this is MJ and you're welcome to my YouTube channel. First of all, thank you for subscribing to this channel. This channel is existing because of you. And today we want to talk about something really important. It is like the most important part of you applying for a job in the United Kingdom, and that is writing your CV. Quite a number of people have reached out to me because I do review CVs for nurses, but I've been so busy and I have so much to do on my hand and I've not been able to respond. And if you are in that category, accept my sincere apology. It's not intentional. It's not that I'm ignoring you. It's just that I have been busy. So, and that is why I thought to myself, okay, let's just give this template. Let me just give you this template. See, CV is not rocket science. Anybody can write a good CV. And in this video, I am here to teach you how to write your CV like a pro. In writing your CV, there are certain things that you need to pay attention to, and we're gonna get right into that shortly. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, you're wrong. I also got some comments. Let me tell you that I see your comments and I've just been really occupied. I've not been able to respond to them. I promise I'm going to respond to your comments. But I saw some people wanted me to talk about how to be ODP, or let me say an aesthetic nurse in the United Kingdom, and I promise we are going to talk about that. But today, let us talk about you writing your CV. And this is for all registered nurses. It doesn't matter what specialty you are. It applies to everybody. This is the real template that we use in the United Kingdom. If you want to get a job in the United Kingdom, most application you do it online. But trust me, if you have a well-structured layout CV, you will not have a problem applying for any job online. It will be your guide. Some hospitals or some employers still want you to send a CV. So this is why this video is really important, and I really want you to pay attention to everything I talk about in this video. I've decided to put this all together as 6 important things that should be in your CV. I'm going to teach you how to write your CV, but we're going to break it down into 6 very important steps. But before we get into that, there are certain things that should not exist. They should not be, for whatever reason, be in your CV. For instance, your age. Why are you telling us your age? We don't care. The most important part of your CV is that you are showing them you're qualified for the post. You're showing them you have everything needed for the post. No one cares if you're 2 years old. If you're 2 years old, you won't be in that stage, okay? So it makes sense that we don't need to know your age, okay? So there are certain things that should not be in your CV. Another important thing you need to have at the back of your mind when you're writing your CV is that you need to use related vocabulary. So now you're applying for a job as a registered nurse. You're not gonna give your CV to someone that has no freaking idea about nursing, someone that doesn't know about the job you're applying for, because there are certain vocabularies that your employer wants to see in your CV to show that, okay, this person knows what she's saying, this person knows what she's doing, she knows what she's talking about. So it is really key that you pay attention to these vocabularies, and if you're giving your CV to anyone to review, make sure there are people in your line that really understand what's going on, okay? So we've talked about you taking out certain things like your location, like your age, like your nationality, some people even put their state of origin. My goodness, that's irrelevant. We don't care, we don't need it. And another reason why you shouldn't be putting this kind of information in your CV is because you're setting yourself up. Trust me, you are setting yourself up. Some people who review CVs, they're racist. I don't want to use that word, but some people are biased. So once they already see all this information, they're already not even interested. They're not even paying attention to your CV anymore. So please, guys, do not throw yourself on the line. Be safe with certain information, okay? And the second thing we talked about is your vocabularies. Be careful, okay? Use vocabularies that are relevant to the position that you are applying for. It is really important. That is really important. Please take note of that. Yeah, another thing you want to take note of when you're writing your CV is you really need to be careful with your font, the kind of font that you use, the kind of template that you use. For me, there's no reason to go for fancy CVs. I have reviewed a number. Let me see. How many CVs have I reviewed so far? I think I've reviewed about 100 CVs. And trust me, the mistake that a lot of people make is that they are trying to be fancy. There is absolutely no point. We don't need your CV to be fancy. We need you to use a right format, right document, right template. You don't need to have your passport photograph on your CV. It's completely irrelevant. Like, you do not need it. It does not have to be. So please be careful with this kind of template that you see online. There's a lot of free templates online. People utilize it. I'm not saying don't utilize it, but be careful with the kind of document type that you use, because what I've come to realize is that sometimes when people send me CVs, I cannot open them because it's either they're encrypted or they don't fit the format for my normal Word document, and I'm unable to open them. I'm unable to work on them. Okay, so I always tell some of them to go back, put it in a normal template, in a normal Word document, and then I can work on it. So it is so imagine if it was an employer. Do you think that they probably gotten about 1,000 CV? Do you think they will get back to you and say, I'm sorry, I cannot open your document? No. Like, no. So it is really key that you are careful with the kind of template that you use. Don't be too fancy. You do not need to be fancy. What is more important is the details, is the information in your CV, not how fancy it is. Okay, so that is one. Another thing that I would like to touch on quickly about your CV is be careful with mistakes, errors. Okay, you don't want to have too much of errors in your CV. It's not professional. Okay, so it's really important that you go through your CV over and over again. You proofread and see if there's any error that you need to correct. One last mistake that people make about CVs, those who make their application by submitting their CV, is, trust me, even though you've just been asked, just send us a CV and we'll work on that, blah, blah, blah. Do not just dump it. Hey, hi, hello, find my CV attached. No. Don't go like that. Introduce yourself. See it as an opportunity to actually apply. See it like a job application, like you're already applying. So when you're sending your CV to anyone, make sure you introduce yourself. Introduce what the information, give a subject to that email, and attach your CV, and make sure that you follow up. Don't just dump CV and think that they're gonna be the one checking on you. No, you need to follow up. And please, it is really important that you are courteous, be respectful, and people will respect them, trust me. Okay, so now back to the 6 important things that should be in your CV. And trust me, this is not just 6 important items that should be in your CV. This is also a template. This is a template. I'm not trying to brag, but there's no one I have reviewed their CV for that have not gotten a job in the United Kingdom. Nobody. Right? Nice track record. Go and ask about me. Anyway, let's get back to the information. So the first thing is, we have talked about things that should not be in your CV. We've trashed that. So please pay attention to those things. Okay, now let's go to the first thing that we want to talk about on your CV. Okay, the first thing on your CV, and this is the template that I use for everyone I review their CV. I'm giving you for free. You know how much I review CVs? And yeah, you are getting it for free. Okay, just apply it properly. There is no information I have shared that people have not utilized, and people who utilize it properly, who apply it properly, have seen the result. So please do not be lazy. You can do this. You can do this by yourself. You don't need to spend any penny with me to get all of this done. You can do all of this with all the free information I'm sharing with you. Okay, so the first thing is your personal details on your statement. We have talked about we don't care about your age, but what do we care about? We do care about your personal details, like your contact details, your name, your full name. And we also do care about your contact details, like your email address and your phone number. Make sure they're working. We care about those three: your full name, your contact details. We do care about that. We don't care about your nationality. We do not care about your state of origin. And what else we not care about? We do not care about your age. Yeah, we don't care if you're 12. You can do the job. You have the qualification, right on. Okay, so that is the thing that we need about your personal details. And I also key under that, right under that, go to your personal statement. Okay, so under your personal statement, this is not a long essay. This is just you trying to put together in about 3 to 4 lines who you are. Okay, what you've got currently. So this is not compulsory. It's just to, give your CV that professional look. So you can simply talk about, like, give us a simple summary about you. Something really, really relevant to your application. Not more than about 3 to 4 lines. It's not a long story, like I told you. Okay, remember, this is a CV, not an application letter. Okay, and then the second thing we're gonna discuss is your core skills. Your core skills, your competencies. A lot of people mix up core skills and competencies with duties and responsibilities. These are not the same. Okay, they are not the same. Okay, your core skills and competencies, they are things that you have that are relevant. See, I always key in on relevant. Everything you're putting in your CV has got to be relevant to that current application. Okay, so it means that when you're about to write your CV, you have gone through what the job description is, the kind of specialty you're applying to, and you've checked their person specification. The person specification will also help you in writing that first personal statement that I mentioned. You can use the person specification to write that. So your core skills and competencies, they are skills. For instance, maybe you've got a competency in catheterization. It's important to the role, include it. Maybe you've got core competencies in IT. You write it. Maybe you've got core competencies that you have competency, like you're competent in doing. Maybe you know how to do the ECG. You put it. Maybe you know how to make use of ultrasound. Maybe you've done the training on ultrasound. You include this. These are things, or venipuncture. These are certain skills that fall under your core skills / competencies. I hope you get me. So that's it about your core skills and competencies. And the reason why I like to go to this just after my personal details, personal statement, contact details, is because the next thing as an employer, next thing I want to see is, okay, I know you, I have your contact details, but do you have what we need? You get my point? So it's really important to bring up your skills first. So they see the skills and like, okay, she's got this or she's got that. Okay, I'm interested. You get my point? So once you put that in, next thing we want to know about is your duties and responsibilities. So that is simply talking about your experience, your work experience. What have you got? What have you got? Okay, remember that when you're making your application, they know that you're qualified. They know that you are a registered nurse. I mean, duh, if you're not a registered nurse, will you be applying? No. So please put in the most important things first. So we're going from your personal details, personal statements. We've gone to your core skills and competencies, and now we're going to your work experience. That is the next tangible thing I want to see. Okay, I mean, if I'm an employer and I'm reviewing your CV, that is the next thing I want to see. So what is your working experience? Remember, and that is simply you talking about your duties, roles and responsibilities, the specialties that you have worked. What did you do? And in writing your working experience, you need to start from the earliest, I mean the latest one. So the hospital that you're currently working, this is where you're starting from. You're starting from your current workplace or your current hospital or your current specialty where you're working from. So in your working experience, I wanted to include the name of the hospital. Okay, starting from the latest. I mean, you're going from the latest, the current one, to the to the ones that you've won, your previous ones. Okay, so you're starting from the latest to the previous ones. Okay, so you're including the name of the hospital, the specialty that you worked at, the start and the end date. These are the important things that you're putting under your working experience. So for instance, you're currently working at Surrey and Sussex Healthcare. Okay, so you want to put that as that's where you're currently working. Which specialty are you working? Accident and emergency. When did you start? Maybe you started September 2021 and you are still working there, so you put till date. Okay, so this is where you want to start from, and then the next one will continue to be the previous ones you've worked at, and you go on and on like that. That is how you write your working experience. Fourth one now. Okay, I want to see your academic qualification. Okay, so what have you got? This also use the same format. Start from the earliest, okay, and you go from your start to end date. Okay, include all of that in your academic history. Fifth one is your additional relevant qualifications. Oh my god, I reviewed a particular nurse CV and I absolutely fell in love with her. I mean, her CV was fantastic. She's had a lot of additional qualification. I think she had one training in John Hopkins University, something in Harvard, some trainings that she said. I asked her, how did you do it? She said she just found these free trainings online and she's got certification for them. They were so relevant. Something was an infection control. I think one was in leadership and management or something. They were so, I mean, there's no employer that will see this and will not want to meet this person. I mean, if you're the one, wouldn't you want to meet her? Okay, so I think she had about 4 or 5 of them. It is really important that you invest in yourself. It is very, very, invest in your growth, invest in yourself. It is really, really important. We don't want the bare rest minimum. We want you to really invest in yourself, and you will always receive a reward for it. Trust me, it is not a waste. Even if you have to pay for these trainings, you're not wasting money. So it's really important that you invest in yourself. Okay, so that is what you're going to put under your additional relevant qualification. Remember, I always key in on relevant. We don't want something that is not relevant to the post you're applying for. So we really do want a relevant detail. Okay, so this is it. And remember, I always say this, even if you are a student, your experience as a student counts. It's part of it. So when you want to put your study experience, I mean your student, when your clinical experience, you're going to put clinical experience as a student nurse. That's your role. What was your role? Oh, I omitted something. Under your working experience, you're actually putting in, you're putting your specialty, the name of the hospital, the specialty you worked at, the start and end date, and you're also putting in your role. What was your role there? Were you a staff nurse? Were you a clerk? Yeah, sorry. What was your role? Okay, so in that kind of instance, if you are a graduate nurse or a student nurse, you put that in. Okay, so that is for that. So we've talked about your personal details statement, name and contact details, like a simple outline about yourself, core skills and competencies. We've talked about your working experience, which includes your duties, roles, and responsibilities. Always use your job description to write this. Always use a job description to write this. Okay, the job description on that particular job that you're applying for, that is what you need to use to construct your duties, roles, and responsibilities. Okay, and then you've talked about your academic history, which is the fourth, and then the fifth one, additional relevant qualification or courses, and then the sixth one. Okay, this sixth one is optional, and that's references. Okay, but what I want to talk, so you can decide to provide references after you got the interview or after you got the job, and you can decide to put it in. I always advise give it when you got the job. But the only thing that you need to do regarding your references is that it has to be valid, and make sure you have a discussion with these people before you don't just drop anybody's details and think they will not check. They always get back to your references, and trust me, I've seen a lot of people lose jobs because of their referees. Yeah, it happens. So please confirm with whoever you want to use as your referee, and be sure that they are interested in your growth. Yeah, do not use anybody that does not, I mean, you cannot you're not sure where you stand with them, please don't use them. Please, 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 please do not use them. So it's really important, guys. Don't burn bridges. Don't mess up where you're working. Do your job. You don't have to love them. You don't have to love each other. Just do your job. Know that when they want to say anything about you, about your job, about how you do your job, they cannot say the negative, because you know your job and you do your job. You go to work early, you don't go late, you're punctual, you have good nurse patient relationship. Just do your job. That's what they want to ask them about. You don't have to buy them food or give them money or bribe them. Just do your job. Okay? It's really, really important, because they will get back to your referees. Okay? So this is simply what I wanted to talk about. Okay, it's really important to organize your CV this way. This is how I do it. When I want to review people's CV, this is the exact template that I use, and I've just given it to you on the platter of God. You see, so without you paying me any money or doing any special thing other than watching this video and sharing it with other people who will find it useful. So this is everything you need to know about writing your CV. This is how to write your CV like a pro. Remember the few things I mentioned earlier. Please, they are very important. Okay, so I hope that you guys found this video useful. Want to keep up with me? I'm not so how do I say it? I'm not so consistent on YouTube. Yeah. I'm trying to be more consistent on YouTube than other places, because I get to share more information. So, but you can follow me on Instagram, proud_NurseMJ, and on Twitter, proud_NurseMJ. Same thing. Any other one is a counterfeit. Okay, and we can keep up. If you've got questions about this video, okay, or you still need some support, kindly drop me an email on nursemj01@gmail.com. I will try to respond. Okay, and also you can drop your questions in the comment section, and I promise to respond over the weekend. Okay, so I hope you guys found this video useful. Please do not forget to share this video with somebody. Somebody might find it really, really useful. Okay, share it with your friends, share it with your colleagues, and this is exactly how I do it. This is what I use. So I really hope you guys found it. Really, I really wish, I really hope that you found it useful. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, you can see you are wrong. You're missing on a lot of things, because I've got more coming. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, and make sure you get your friends to subscribe to this channel. On my next video, I'll talk to you, for those who are interested. Yeah, so I'm going to talk to you about how to become an anesthetic nurse, ODP, in the United Kingdom. Okay, and for just to say this quickly, this CV format applies to every nurse, either you're applying for as a theater nurse, as an orthopedic nurse, mental health nurse, the same thing, guys. You just have to. The important thing is that you need to check the job description, okay, and the person specification to that particular application. Your CV is not one size fits all. Scratch that. It is not. You don't use one CV you have used for this application, for this, for that, except you have gone through the job description, you have gone through the person specification, and they are similar. Otherwise, you're breaking down your CV again to suit the particular application. So I really hope you guys found this video useful. Enjoy the rest of your week.